Wednesday at the Matinee with BROtality.
So for this week's Wednesday at the Matinee, we're going to be going over The Huntsmen, Winter's War. It's essentially a story about two sisters with power who try to take over kingdoms. No, not Elsa and Anna. We're talking about Freya and Ravenna. So these sisters try to take over as many kingdoms as possible, but they're not necessarily on the same team. The primary focus of this movie is on Freya and about how she came to power and how she was all pouty, why she's upset, how she came about training the Huntsmen, and about the love interest between Chris Hemsworth's character, Eric, and Jessica Chastain's character, Sarah, which were the two top huntsmen in Freya's initial Huntsman Corps. Now let's not forget Snow White.
Bro.
Wait.
She's not in this.
She's not in this?
Nope. Sorry.
No dialogue?
Uh-uh.
No FaceTime?
Nope.
She barely even gets a mention?
Uh-uh.
Well, that's kind of stupid, right? So to make a long story short, and I am talking long, 2 hours and 3 minutes of average, sub-average fantasy drama, Snow White, who once again, not shown in this film, to protect her kingdom from the evil mirror, sends it out to Sanctuary to stop anybody from getting to it. I don't know why that makes any sense. She should have just destroyed the damn thing. But Freya becomes aware of the mirror's movement, goes try to take it, so she can use the power it contains to conquer. But just like the previous show, accidentally ends up resurrecting her much more evil, much more ruthless, much more smoke and hot sister Ravenna. Which is fine by me. I mean, Chris Hemsworth is dreamy and all. What? Don't judge me. And ultimately, the battle royale between the three parties ends in... What? I'm not going to tell you. I may be an asshole, but I don't give up spoilers, even for the worst of movies. Now, about Chris Hemsworth's character, Eric. Although his character is quite cookie cutter, kind of generic, he was still entertaining to watch. Between his lighthearted banter, between his estranged wife, and the action scenes, it was enjoyable. I laughed out loud a few times, which surprised me. However, his counterpart, Jessica Chastain's character, Sarah, not so much. She was pretty generic, pretty cookie cutter, very cliche storyline. Woman falls in love, woman gets scorned, woman weary of love, woman falls back in love. The same old shit you see time and time again, just about ever. Her character could have been played by anybody who fit in some leather pants and knew some ballet. Now on to Emily Blunt. I'm not even really sure where to start with her character, Freya. For me, Blunt's one of those actors who either you really love for the role or really hate for the role. And in this case, it was the latter. Unlike her previous role in Edge of Tomorrow, where she plays a badass, we get more of the big pouty crybaby the whole time that you see in Sicario. If you haven't seen Sicario, great movie minus Emily Blunt. Check it out. She's heartbroken, she's vengeful, she's power hungry, and wants to conquer all. Yet at any given moment, she looks like she can really just bust into tears and break down. Her character is just so sad and mopey. So to be blunt, see what I did there? Emily Blunt has a huge acting range, but unfortunately you're not going to get to see any of that in this particular movie. Now we're going to move on to the good stuff. Charlize Theron. Man, if there was ever a evil, wicked, badass queen who is both stunning, seductive, and overall just wicked, that's Ravenna. Throughout the opening and the ending of the movie, her presence is commanding. From the look she gives to the way she speaks, even down to her body language, it is all seductive and evil. She's one of those characters you really love to hate. If they had given her more screen time, she could have saved this movie from being bad. And since we're on the topic of what ifs, what if they shelled out some extra dough and got K-Stu back in this flick? Probably could have saved it. According to Variety magazine, this movie stands to lose $70 million. I'll leave a link to that down in the description below. Other sources are saying that after the life cycle of this movie and home sales, the studio is still staying to lose about $30 to $40 million. I'm going to cover the special effects in this movie last because they're pretty average. Not a whole lot of wow factor, pretty much the same old thing that you see in most of these films. There is a moment where they show some incredible CGI with the way the gold comes out of the mirror when resurrecting Ravenna. And the goblin scenes weren't too bad either. But as for the rest of it goes, pretty standard, nothing really to amaze. So to wrap it all up, The Huntsman Winter's War is sitting at a 6.2 on IMDb, a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 35% on Metacritic. Which to me is fairly reasonable, it's pretty understandable. I mean, 3/4 of the characters are cookie cutter, if not just bad. The problem I had with the movie is it lacks any kind of real ability to reel you in, to really draw you into the story and root for one side or the other. No fan engagement whatsoever. It was just kind of there. There was this lull in the middle, and with the longer runtime than average movies, felt like a really long, boring midsection. Kind of felt like time was frozen. Anyone? Come on, I'm spitting out gold here. Overall, I give this movie a 6 out of 10. I mean, it's watchable, but you'd be better off picking up a Redbox or renting it and not wasting your money at a theater. Well, that's about it. That concludes my review of The Huntsman Winter's War. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week at Wednesday at the Matinee.